Welcome to the Over 40 Alpha Podcast with your host, Funk Roberts.
So yeah, today it's just going to be generally, we're gonna do this coaching call. If you do have any questions, please post them in the Facebook group, #AskFunk, and I'm gonna get to them on Tuesday because we're gonna be doing it, or tomorrow Tuesday, we'll be shooting our Ask Funk. So thank you very much. I just want to say hello to all the brothers here: Fred, Eric, E, Juan, Joseph, Parad, Andrew, Ed, Claude, Jesse, what's up? Itona, Tony, Tim, Rod, Reggie Green, John Anderson, what's up, man? Sean, Errol, Arun, Philip, Lorenzo. Make sure you guys mute yourself, by the way, when you're coming in. Tim, what's going on, buddy? Rob from Pittsburgh. Where are we? Lorenzo, Joe, Z-Man, Chris, McGill, Brett Douglas, Dudley Stubbs, Salahadeen, George, Xavier's in the house, John Glenn, Edwin, Frazo, Yasser, Johnny Perks, and all the rest of the brothers who are listening to this, man. Welcome today. I'm really excited today because today we're going to talk about motivational hacks. And just to let you guys know, too, just a couple of things that are happening. First, again, if you're just listening to this right now, today is Sunday. Make sure you head over to Funk Supplement Shop. Grab your supplements, 15% off, additional 15% off when you use Health 15. But you all also have a code. It's called Alpha 15, and that code allows you to get 15% off at any time. But right now the supplements are on sale, so take advantage of it right now. Get whatever supplements. We're throwing up some videos for each supplement, so like I give you a little bit more information. So make sure you hit that. And so one of the things that I'm really starting to, I'm always trying to evolve this program, right? As you guys know, this program is not just about workouts. It's a lifestyle. It's an alpha lifestyle, right? It's the workouts are kind of like the broccoli. I need to get you guys to eat broccoli. So, sorry, yes. Let me rewind that. The workouts are the broccoli. The broccoli is the lifestyle. Like, okay, guys, I want you guys to change your lifestyle. If I just came to you, Andrew or Joseph or Red, and I said, hey, man, I got this program. It's going to change your lifestyle. You're like, I don't care about changing my lifestyle. I just want to lose weight. You know what I mean? So how do I try to get you guys to understand that it's the lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle that you lead? Your mind, your body, your spirit, everything that's going to help take you forward and help as you age, help you to get, just to live longer, right? Live happier. And be able to share all of the information that you learn with your families, with your community. So the workouts are the first. That's how you kind of mask it. Okay, let's put a little cheese on that broccoli, get you guys to eat it, try different ways. So, it's more than workouts. It's more than nutrition. It's more than the recovery. I'm always trying to evolve. And one of the biggest things is mindset, right? Mindset is a big thing. I was growing up, like I said, this was introduced to me very, very early. And don't worry, guys, I'm not trying to put you in some trance or anything. It's just regular mindset training, lifestyle training. But when I was a kid, I was lucky enough to have a coach who introduced me to a lot of mindset exercises that I've used throughout my entire life. And, just in general, like in business and life and relationships, we need to have that mindset. So one of the things that I'm going to be doing is introducing more mindset things to the program. So every month there'll be a different, PDF with a lot of good things in there to help. And I'll get to that more later on, but I just want to let you know that, like I say, this program is evolving mindset. I'm going to, next year we're going to be doing a lot more mobility work as well. Still the workouts, still everything else, but, mobility, flexibility, prehab stuff so that we don't get injured, so we live pain-free. All of that stuff is coming because we're all going to be getting older together. Together, we're beginning doing this program, for years and years to come. We'll be back on this coaching call. I'll still hopefully see the same faces on this coaching call. And we want to make sure that as we age, we live pain-free, right? And healthy. So that's, again, just trying to evolve this program. But today we're going to talk about motivational hacks from successful people, because I have this awesome PDF that's put together. And, I think about a lot of the things that these 10 motivational hacks that highly successful people do. Because if you think about it, if you look at all the people that I'm going to be going through here on this, in this call, they all started where we started. They're all just regular guys, regular women. They were just regular people. They weren't born into, okay, you're born into greatness. No, you have to do certain things in order to achieve greatness. And we all have greatness inside of us. We all have that potential that many times we don't hit, right? Because of whatever the reason is, whether it's, we're not motivated, whether we don't believe that we can do what we think we can do. And lots of times it leaves us like, man, I wish I did this, or I wish I did that. Like when I went to school in Hawaii, my very first year, one of my goals when I first started playing volleyball was to get a scholarship. In life, one of my goals just to get a scholarship. First it was football, and I'm like, okay, let's try volleyball. And so that was my goal. And when I got that scholarship and I went to Hawaii, I wasn't ready to be put in the limelight, because when you play volleyball in Hawaii, it's and you're a freshman and you're on the University of Hawaii team, everyone knows you, right? And things get done for you in classes so that you can train, so that you can go to practice. And I literally partied. I played, and then after my season was over, I just partied my entire scholarship away, to the point where the dean sat me down and said, "Hey man, we're not going to pay for you next year, so you can still come back, but you're going to have to pay." And that was a hard lesson. And I ended up leaving. And I wish now that I really took advantage of the fact that I had a great opportunity at an incredible school to really put a footprint in my life. But that's just not the way things go. So where was I going with that story? The story is, different things will take you different paths, but you learn from things, and you strive to work hard. And there's no secret formula for success, but everyone starts the same place, is basically what I was trying to say. But you always have to do certain things to get there, like work hard and motivation. And if you keep trying at your goal, and you put every effort into it every single day, if you have a single mind and you're determined, and you don't give up, then eventually you're going to be successful. Eventually you will be successful. Eventually you will achieve what you want to achieve. But again, it's just that hard work and motivation. And like I say, the people I want to talk about right now, generally they've all used certain strategies, certain hacks to get what they want. So like I said, these individuals are keys to the pillar of success, for ingenuity, for determination. But at the same time, they do show us that the path of success is not special. It's not special. This is where I was going with it. After I came home, I had refocused, right? I had refocused. I'm like, man, I never want that to ever happen again. Now I need to seriously focus on what I want to achieve. Get back on the horse, even though I was knocked down. I would get back on that horse, and hit volleyball even harder. Try to achieve even more greatness. And so you'll see that I'll talk about that in some of these things. But let's learn from some of the people who are doing these hacks. So it's 10 motivational hacks, things that are going to keep you or going to lead you on the way to being successful. The first thing is, number one, is having a singular goal. And that's Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I know that throughout my entire life, I've always been enamored with Arnold Schwarzenegger, like in disbelief that this guy, normal guy from Austria, again, not born into greatness, small town in Austria, rural village in Austria, comes to the US, biggest, icon in muscle and fitness, Mr. Olympia, and not just a Mr. Olympia winner. He's an icon as a Mr. Olympia. He managed to become one of the highest paid actors of all time. I love his movies. I'm sure we've all seen his movies. And at one point, he was the highest paid actor. And then he was the governor of California. Like, this guy's from Austria, and he became the governor of a U.S. state. That's insane. The fact that someone from a different country can come to another country and be a leader in that country, along with all the other success he has, which is incredible. I've always thought about, man, that's awesome. Love him or hate him, man. Like his success journey has been absolutely incredible. But how did he do it? He said he did it with extreme hard work, right? Just really sometimes it's just honestly hard work. Arnold recalls how he used to train hours and hours at a time. He'd run these little businesses, and simultaneously he'd go to English school to learn how to speak English. Because remember, when he came here, he barely knew how to speak English. But he was always able to do this for one reason alone, because he had one single goal that he was absolutely passionate about. And when you have that single goal, then you'll put in the grueling reps, you'll put in the grueling time, and you know that each time that you do something, you're going to be one step closer. Like 2 weeks ago, I was posting about my sleep and how I was getting 8 hours sleep and 7 hours sleep. And last week, the script flipped, because last week I had a single goal, and last week was 20-hour days, 18 and 20-hour days every single day. And it wasn't about even doing workouts. It was right here in this computer, because I was working on things that needed me to be focused, that needed me to work hard, that needed me to say, okay, I have to sacrifice sleep this week to get this done. But sometimes you have to do that in order to hit those single goals. Not saying you don't have to sacrifice sleep, but it's that hard work. It's that, because I know that every single thing that I did, every single day, I was chopping closer and closer. And just like Arnold does, and just like you guys do in this program, you have one single goal. The one single goal is whatever your goal is, but you know that in order to do that, you have to work hard. You have to work hard. Whenever you don't want to do it, it's every single day you're doing something. If it's recovery, if it's meal prep, if it's workouts, if it's whatever it is. When it comes to health, when it comes to this program and your health, you have to work hard, period. It's hard work. It's not easy. It's not hard. It's hard work. But after a while, as you'll see, you'll become a master at it. Because number 2 is Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee said practice the same kick 1,000 times. Okay. Bruce Lee, obviously we know, as another icon in general. And he said, he doesn't fear the man who practices 1,000 different kicks once. Bruce Lee fears a man who practiced one kick 1,000 times. And I'm telling you, man, the person who is a master, because that's what it was. In other words, Bruce Lee was talking about, he respected and feared, at least, the master, because Bruce said he was enamored at those who had honed a perfect technique through countless hours of practice, right? And this is what we can all do. We can all accomplish that. In fitness, there's something called greasing the groove, right? Greasing the groove is something where essentially the argument here is, if you're training a movement or a pattern every single day, it becomes more and more ingrained into you with every single attempt. And eventually it'll just become second nature. Eventually you'll be able to do it faster, stronger, more efficient, more capable. And funny enough, for me, again, I'm always just kind of bringing it back to how this relates to me, and maybe some of these things you can think about related to you. And just by the way, as I'm going through these hacks, I'm not saying every one of these hacks is going to work. Some you try and some don't work. Some you think, you know what, that is something that I would do. Some of these hacks I would never do. But this specifically, when I was younger, the same thing. I was a big sports person, so I played all these different sports. I was a master of many, but I was a jack of all sports, but master of none. I was always like the second or the third best on the team, but I was never the best because I just was doing so many other things, right? So I didn't have time to put the 1,000 kicks or 10,000, technique things that I could to become a great at that one sport, until I moved to volleyball. And then I became the best on my teams and the best in the nation, and so on and so forth. And it's the same thing with this program for you guys. It's like you guys are becoming a master of health. If you just do the same, it's literally, you're just repeating the same thing over and over again. Sure, there's different variations, but you're just, workout Monday, recovery Tuesday, workout Wednesday. You keep doing that over and over again. It becomes second nature. That's one thing that he says here. When something becomes second nature, it's just, you don't even think about it and you're doing it, right? Like the nutrition is the key. Like when you're doing, you're eating the same way over and over and over again, not the same food, but the same way, it becomes second nature to the point where you don't even know any different. Like, oh yeah, no, this is just how I eat. It doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter if you go to someone's house, how to put that balanced plate. When it comes to workouts, like, no, Monday, no, like I can't veer away from my workout. That's part of, it's just second nature. Like I have to work out. If I don't do it, I feel something's different. Something's wrong, And so same thing with Bruce Lee here. So you know, perfect mastery might seem like a long way. Getting it ingrained, it takes a long time for something to get ingrained. Specifically this. That's why the program really is 12 starts with 12 months now. It's, longer. But believe me, after 12 months, man, like it's got to be second nature. If you've been putting in the work for 1 year, like if you think about it, it's October. If you put in the work from today to next October, but you don't really think about, you're thinking about next October, Thanksgiving, where we're having this conversation, this whole program will be second nature. Not the program, though, your lifestyle. You'd have to do some type of workout, no matter if you're traveling, no matter if you're at home. The key is you want to be a master of something. And the way to do that is continuously doing the same thing over and over again. The same technique, you'll get better. I did the same with burpees. When I did my burpee program a couple years ago, do 250 burpee variations, and I would be shooting all these burpee variations. By the time I was at this third week or fourth week, burpees were like nothing to me. Like I could do them in my sleep. Now they're tougher, but it's just when you do the same thing over and over again. So like I said, practice the same kick 1,000 times, and you will be feared. Number 3 is using fear setting. So this is something that Tim Ferriss used. I don't know if you guys know, obviously everyone knows who Tim Ferriss is. Responsible for that lifestyle design movement. He can even take some credit for, health, right? Like for me, this book here, The 4-Hour Workweek, changed the way I created my business. I read it. I looked through this book. I have so many earmarks. I'm like, wow, man, I dissected this book when it first came out. And his books have reached bestsellers. He's worked with, multiple successful people on the planet. He runs businesses. He has a podcast. Definitely check out Tim Ferriss. But again, he was born into it. What he used was something called fear setting. And Tim recommends that technique called fear setting to achieve your goals. And the idea of fear setting, I love this because in fact, I think I even talked about this in phase number 1. Many of us fail to make any progress because we're scared. We're scared to fail, right? We're scared that we're not going to be able to do this. So for instance, let's say you might not apply to a job, or you might not apply to other jobs because you're just scared of leaving your current work. Even though you don't like your current work, you may be afraid to leave your current work. You may not speak to, a beautiful woman of the opposite sex because you're afraid of rejection, whatever it is. But here's the thing: most of us will fail to ever define precisely what we're afraid of. So we're afraid to leave our work, or we're afraid to do this thing, or we're afraid to start this program, but we're not really sure why we're afraid. And as a result, we just start blowing everything up out of proportion. We start to catastrophize things, and we just become frozen and frightened. We're like, you know what? I'm not going to do it now. And that happens to a lot of people when they start this program. They're like, oh, they're afraid. That 100%, if you sign up for something, you're not just signing up because you want to see what it's all about. In general, you're signing up because there's a reason. There's something wrong with your health, or you want to fix something, or you want to achieve something, a goal that you're looking for, but you get frozen. You get frozen in fright, and you use all these other excuses because you're just a fear of failure. But by taking a moment to write down exactly what you're afraid of, you'll often realize that your fears aren't really that bad. Like you're actually overreacting. You're actually catastrophizing things. So write down all the things you're afraid of, and then next to each point, write down exactly what you think will happen. How could it be prevented, and what would be the worst case scenario? Right. So you write down all the things that you're afraid of. How likely is that going to happen? How could it be prevented? So to make sure that it doesn't happen. And if it does happen, what's the worst case scenario? So for example, let's go back to leaving your job as one. So perhaps you're scared to leave your job. Again, you don't like it, or you may not like your new position. So you're afraid to end up so here are the fears. I may not like my new position, and I'll end up getting fired, or I'll end up leaving, and that's going to leave me penniless. And then my partner is going to leave me because I made such a bad decision. And then my kids are going to go hungry, and then I'm going to be forced to sell my house. All of this stuff, all of this thing means you're never going to try to, move on to that next job because you're afraid, because you've catastrophized. Like, oh, well, if I do, then all of this is going to happen. And I hear that all the time. Well, if I do that, then, what happens if, my wife leaves me, and then, have no more money, and then I got to sell the house. And like all of these things are happening over something that, how likely is it really to happen? If you don't give up your current, if let's say you won't give up your current job, first of all, you won't give up your current job until you may find one, right? You're not going to just all of a sudden leave. And if you don't like your new job that you go to, you can always look for work again because you just finished looking for work. And there's also laws that prevent people from unfair firing. And you should be able to, which will allow you to look for a good workplace. And also, all the chances of you, all one of the basically before you do any of this, you're going to probably talk to your spouse or talk to your partner. You're going to at least have some savings. You know what I mean? Like you'll, if anything happens, you'll have your parents or someone to fall back on. Basically, the point I'm trying to make is there's things that you can write down. There's things that will happen that, that you're afraid of. That's probably not going to happen. A lot of times it's fears that will creep into our mind. So for me, when I was working at a company, I was making six figures. I was a senior manager of this company, but at the same time, I was doing my fitness things online. And one day, I actually did this without even talking to my wife. I walked into the president and I left my job. I said, listen, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go on and do other things. I didn't tell Angela I was doing this. I didn't tell anybody. But I think the president knew that, I see that you're doing a lot of stuff. That's where your heart is. So I left. I literally left, came home, and I told Angela, and she was just like, Jesus, all right, well, you better get your ass upstairs and start working on your new business. But I didn't have any fear because I realized, okay, well, if worst case scenario, if this fitness thing doesn't work out, I can still go back to that job. Maybe I've got a good CV. I can do something else. Like I wasn't really afraid of failure because I wrote all of those things down, even though I didn't share it with anybody. So one of the things is, again, use fear setting. If you're afraid to do something, write down again what you're afraid of, how it can be prevented, and the worst case scenario. And then write that down, and that'll start to show you, oh, you know what, maybe it's not that bad after all, or I have a plan in place if this happens or this happens or that happens. Number 4 is make it awesome. Elon Musk. So again, Elon Musk is probably the closest thing to a modern day Tesla. You guys know who Tesla is, and he actually named one of his companies Tesla. Elon went from pretty much obscurity to running PayPal, to running Tesla, to running SpaceX, and he's responsible for driving commercial travel in the industry and transforming the environment with his electric cars and pulling off crazy stunts, crazy PR stunts. But how did he do all this? How did Elon Musk go from obscurity to where he is now? Clearly, he just loves to make things awesome, right? He loves to introduce the world to science fiction ideas and all kinds of crazy things. And yeah, he's on Joe Rogan podcast. You can see that this guy's he just loves creating awesome stuff. He's got big, massive goals, big, massive ambition, and that's what drives him, right? He is so passionate. You can see he wakes up every day. He loves what he's doing. He feels motivated to wake up every day. But when you have such big, lofty goals, it actually not only motivates you, but it motivates other people around you. So, like I say, there's people in the program who, even if your goal in the fitness side is still, I want to lose 100 pounds or I want to lose 80 pounds. That's a big, massive, lofty goal. And there's a lot of work that has to go into wanting to lose 100 pounds. But you have to be passionate about it. You have to be focused on that. And when you make big, lofty goals, again, it takes hard work. But most people who make those big, lofty goals or make these, this is, I want to take people to Mars or whatever it is, they have to have a lot of passion to wake up every single day and focus on that one goal. They're using a lot of what we're talking about here, focusing on the one thing. Obviously, there's no fear. They're practicing doing the same thing over and over again in order to reach those goals. And that's the same thing with even in fitness and health. When you're trying to lose a big, lofty goal, it's going to take time, but you have to have a little bit of passion about trying to lose that weight or trying to regain your health. There has to be passion behind that if you want to achieve it. Number 5 is let it come. And this is from Einstein. So Einstein, of course, just one of the greatest thinkers. one of the things about Einstein is he used to have, well, he came up with his big epiphany while he was relaxing. And there's this famous story about, he was sorting through all of his patents at the patent office where he worked, and the theory of special relativity came to him. He was visualizing that if what it would be like if he fell off the roof while watching another object fall off the roof. And in doing so, he understood what relativity meant. And why did this happen? Well, his answer is because when you engage in mindless or menial work, what it does is activates a region in the brain called the default mode network. And what this does is it's the network that's responsible, the place in the brain that's responsible for creativity, for imagination, and for daydreaming. So, for me, the default mode happens a lot when I'm in the shower, when I'm just chilling out in the shower. It's funny. I have like 30-minute showers. Sometimes I'll just, like, my wife will be in the same bathroom and she won't hear me say a word. She won't hear anything, but just listen to the shower. And that's just because most of the time, a lot of time in the shower, I'll just get under the water and then my mind just goes. Like, I'm thinking about all kinds of things. I've had a lot of the things that you see in the Brotherhood were contrived in the shower, just like, oh man, I should do this. Oh man, yeah, what would it be like if I did that? And I start thinking about it. Meanwhile, I'm just standing in the shower, right? Just mindless, not even doing anything, just standing there. But it does, like, I remember in neurology, I did learn about the default mode. I did learn about the part of the brain that activates this region, and it does get activated when you're not doing anything. So a lot of times it'll just come to you. You'll just be thinking and like, oh shit, yeah, man. And you start thinking about it more and more, and then it starts to grow a little bit bigger. And that's when, the passion comes, and that's when, the fear setting. Okay, I'm not afraid. I'm going to try this out. That's when you have that singular goal. So for some people, it'll come to you, specifically in times when you don't think. So that's number 5. Number 6, don't be afraid to promote yourself. And this is Muhammad Ali. Of course, Ali, one of the greatest boxers of all time. He honestly had no qualms about letting people know it. He was always running his mouth to his competitors. He was always doing things in the press. He would always talk about what he believed in. Even though I don't think he could read, but you wouldn't know it by listening to him speak. And it might seem that he had a big ego, of course, because he was always talking about what he believed in. But that's what it was. When he believed in something so much, he would. When I say promote himself, he would let you know. To say it helped to remind us about his best qualities, which was just he was so passionate about what he believed in, but he let you know, right? We've all been brought up to be humble and shy. I know I was brought up to be, just, oh, it's okay, just sit there and do your work and whatever. Specifically about my accomplishments, but a lot of these successful people they actually like talking about how successful they are. They like talking about, what they're doing. But, for me, I think if you're truly love what you're doing, and it's bringing success to other people, that's when I like the promotion of it, right? That's, I'm not a big, oh, look at me guy. Look, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I was never like that. Not even when I was playing my professional sports. I was never really like that. I was more just let the results speak for themselves. And but now I like to promote you guys is what I like to do more. Promote what this program's doing for you guys, and promote you guys more than me. I'm just, like I said, I just give you guys the tools. But you put in the hard work every single day. Speaking of hard work, number 7 is it ain't about how hard you get hit. And this was excellent advice from Sylvester Stallone. In the movie Rocky Balboa, there's a scene in the movie where he says, it ain't about how hard you get. Sorry, it ain't about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get up and keep moving forward. And that speaks for himself. That probably speaks for his own life in some ways. As he was, trudging up the in the industry. As a boxer, this line makes perfect sense. Obviously, it's not about how hard you hit. You're going to get hit. You're going to get down. You have to get back up. But so many successful people never quit, man. They keep moving forward. And that's what this program, 100%, man. Like, there's going to be barriers that happen to you. There's going to be things. Listen, guys, can you believe it? It's October, February, March is when this pandemic happened. we're still here, man. A lot of us are still here. Like we're still here. We got knocked down. Things were closing. Some of us lost jobs. Some of our family members lost jobs. Like a lot of us got knocked the F down. But we got back up. We got back up. All right, we got to get back up, man. We got to get our health ready. We got to get our life in place. Okay, we're going to get knocked down. And it's going to happen many, many, many times in our lives. But we always have to get back up. Some people fell off the program. They, for whatever reason, they get back. They're like, hey, man, something happened in my life, this and that, but I'm back. Right, I'm back. Let's go. Let's keep going. Let's keep moving forward. And that's key, man. That's my life right there, man. I've been knocked down many, many, many times. Things have happened to me so many times in my life, and I'm just like, whatever. It's gonna get back up and keep going, keep going, keep going. Because the more you keep going, the more resilience you build, right? And the more resilience you have, the more you'll have no fear to do things because you know that you have the resilience to get through tough things. All of us on this call have had to get through tough things. We've all overcame. Looking back from when we were young to today, we've lived a long life. We've all lived a long life. The great thing is we've got another 40, 50, 60 years to live, right? Because as I always say this, as technology and advancements in medicine and all of these other things happen, our lives are going to be prolonged. We're going to be living till we're 120 and not 120 like, can't do anything, like doing burpees at 100. You know what I mean? Like that's what I want to be. I want to see my great grandchildren. I want to see what they look like. I want to help them as much as I can. So in order to do that, we have to be resilient. We have to get back up when we get hit. So that's a great one. Number 8 is non-reactivity. And this is something that the Navy SEALs practice. If there's any Navy SEALs on the call or anyone in the military, you probably know about going through Hell Week or at least Hell Week. But Navy SEALs go through Hell Week on a regular basis, and that's just during training. So in fact, most of their grueling tests is actually called Hell Week. And they do this in order to prepare their bodies and their minds for the situations that you're going to perform when you're actually fighting wars, right? You guys know this, but not everyone knows this. So how do they cope? Well, one of the tools that they use is a mental trick called non-reactivity. And this means simply choosing not to react to bad news, choosing not to react to stress, anxiety, any setbacks. It's funny because at my last fitness retreat in Thailand, I tried this with all the guys in the fitness retreat, the men and women fitness retreat. Didn't try it, but we all laid down in the water. We had our, we laid down in this cold water. We all had our arms together, and we had to sit there, for 10 minutes together and just like let the water come over us. It was cold. It was just a little challenge that we had, but I just really wanted to bring everyone together, and I also wanted to show them that you don't have to react to all of this stuff. Sure, there's going to be bad news. Again, this is what's going on. And when I say not reacting, it's like Stoicism, right? It's that the school of thought of Stoicism basically means that while you can't prevent bad things from happening, you can prevent about being how upset you're going to be about it, how you're going to react to it, right? Of course, you have to notice what's happened, but you can move on. You can notice what happened. You can do whatever you need to do to deal with it, and then you move on and worry about it later. But that non-reactivity is a great way to stay focused, right? Because again, for me, with all this other stuff happening around in the world, with all this stuff on social media and the news and all of the things that are going around the world, we can choose to put our energy into things that we have no control over, which is what people post, what you read in the newspaper, what's going around in the world. Like we can try to do all of these things to focus on all of those things that are happening, the stressful stuff, the bad stuff, the things that we have no control over, or we can just focus on what we have control over and focus on our little kingdom, our little community, our kids, our family, and focus on ourselves, our health. That's a Navy SEAL's mindset, that the war is not out there on things you can't control. The war is on your health. The war is making sure that your family is a tight unit. The war is your kids, making sure that your kids have a father that they can come to at any time, making sure that your kids can look up to you, their grandkids look up to you and say, yeah, that's my grandfather, that's my father. He's helping me. Your health will show that. The way you react to things will show that. And so the war is not out there with all this other crap going on. The war is within our own kingdom and making sure that that's as tight as it can be. And so, not reacting to bad news or not react. And again, when I say not reacting, I mean, obviously there's things that happen in your life. People pass away, family members are in trouble for whatever, or doing things that you need to focus on. But there's things you can control during those times, and that's what you have to focus on, things that you can control. And things that you can't, you just let it go, man. Let it go. Don't even put any energy into it. Your energy needs to be focused on other things, not on what Susie said on Facebook. Can you believe what that girl just posted on Facebook? Like, who cares? Who cares? I have to continually remind Angela, because I'm not a person who's on social media at all, specifically Facebook, like my feed and all of that stuff. Angela, on the other hand, she's on it and she reads all this stuff because she's a fiery person, man. Again, you don't mess with her. She'll take you out easy. And so I have to keep telling her, don't worry about that, man. Don't worry about that, because she sees a lot of things in her line of work. She sees all the bad people out there. She sees, a lot of negativity. She sees it all the time. She's, so she sees all of that stuff. And she's very good at compartmentalizing and putting it in its place. But a lot of times when you see a lot of that stuff and you see a lot of people doing other things, you can react to it. So I'm always telling her, don't worry about what that person posted. Who cares about that? Who cares? It has nothing to do with your life. So, but yeah, anyway, so just try to focus more on things that you can control. And if it's other people posting things or stressing you out or whatever that you have no control over, someone at work who just continuously does the same thing, you're like, man, I need to try to make this person. No, listen, that person's going to be that person. Okay, cool, man. That's you. Great. Listen to what they have to say. Move on. Don't give them any energy anymore, because they want to sap energy out of you. People love to sap energy out of you. They get your reaction, they win. If I post something negative and you guys start posting stuff about it, I win. I get all of that. I'm taking your energy, and you don't want them to have your energy. Anyone in your life, even sometimes when Angela tries to, poke at me, I don't want to give her my energy. I'll just ignore it. And I know that, okay, I kept it. I won that battle. But anyways, so don't give people your energy, man. Don't give people your energy. Okay. Number 9, you only need to be successful once. And this is J.K. Rowling. Of course, she wrote the Harry Potter series. J.K. Rowling at first, and it's a classic story of she was turned down by every single publisher hundreds of times until she got that one book deal. And that one book deal obviously changed her life, changed the book industry in regards to the Harry Potter series. And it's a testament about, Rowling's determination, her self-belief, and, a lot of the things that we've already discussed at this point, right? It reminds us that we just one time, we just need that one. And it's so funny because this is why hard work and determination and consistency is so important, because the more you keep trying, the more the odds get stacked in your favor, right? And I'm not talking about in Vegas. I'm talking about, again, things that you can control. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many times I see guys, there's a meme out there with someone like digging a ditch or digging digging in a underground, right? And they're so close to getting out. They're so close to the edge where, like, if they just dug a little bit more, they would finally reach daylight. But a lot of people turn back just before they hit that time, just before they're about to succeed. And I see it a lot in programs, and I have to remind people, like, okay, guys, the first 2 weeks, you're not going to see anything, right? But after week 3, all of a sudden you'll be like, whoa, geez, okay, here's where all that work, all that consistency, all that hard work, it finally paid off. And there's going to be times in this, when you do this program where there's going to be weeks where you're like, man, I haven't seen any progress. Like, I'm not seeing anything. I think I've hit a plateau. And I've mentioned this before, it's just your body getting used to where you are. But if you keep going, you just all of a sudden it'll be like, oh, okay, oh shit, okay, man, okay. And now I saw it. I saw it after a week, so you may go a whole phase and not see any difference, right? You may feel a little bit different, a little bit stronger, but you're not seeing anything. And all of a sudden you're like, this problem's not working. But if you only went that one extra week, all of a sudden it'll be like, shh, oh, all right, man, there it is. So you have to just keep going forward. There's always going to be mini plateaus, but don't get discouraged, because you know that the odds are stacked in your favor. If you keep working out, you're going to get stronger. You're going to, you're going to lose more weight. You know that you're going to get, better fitness, better cardio conditioning, stronger heart. When you eat well, if you keep eating the right food, you're going to feel better. You're going to have more energy. Your mind's going to be right. You're going to be more focused on things. That those are the odds being stacked for you. That the more you stretch, the more you do mobility work, and the more you do Veronica's yoga, listen, it may take you a year before you're able to do some of those moves, but you will get there as long as you keep doing these things. It's all about, that if you continue to try to get better sleep, it may take you months. Okay, this week I got 4.5 hours every day. All right, let's keep going. Because if I keep focusing on my sleep, I'm going to get to 7, and then it's going to become 7 hours every single day. And then I'm going to know what I need to do in order to get the 7 hours. And if I have to work hard for a week, that's fine. But I know what I need to do to get back to the 7, 8, 9 hours sleep that I did every day 2 weeks ago. It's all about the odds being stacked for you. But the only way that's going to happen is if you continuously work hard, consistent, and use a lot of the other things that will, non-reactivity, the things that are going around, but focusing on what you have control over. You're gonna fall down a few times. We got to get back up. Don't be afraid to keep going. Just be consistent and work hard. So I like that one. You only need to be successful once. And for you guys, it's just, you see the success happen in stages, but if you just keep doing that same thing, it's just the success will happen. But again, this is a lifestyle. There's no stop to this. To tell you the truth, there's no stop to this. There's no like, okay, I reached here, I'm just going to stop doing everything. No, you're not stopping exercising. You're not going to stop eating healthy. You're not going to stop learning about things. This is like your new lifestyle, man. Like, this is it, right? But it's a great lifestyle because you feel better. You look better. You're better to the people around you. You're more positive, and we're gaining tools that we can use in life to help us become more successful, or at least help us reach that potential, because everyone's success is different from everyone else. The last thing, number 10, is Will Smith, be the last to get off the treadmill. And Will Smith, as you guys know, is an actor, extremely successful actor. And he started his career, in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and he went on to, massive in Hollywood, what have you. Anyways, his secret was, Will actually puts it down, staying on the treadmill the longest. He doesn't believe in being the most talented, but he also believes that putting in the hard work. There's a saying, I don't know off the top of my head, talent, hard work, something about, I've seen it many, many times. Talented guys who don't put in the hard work. Guys who have Jesus, guy could be a beast, but he just doesn't work hard, because sometimes when you have that talent, you don't put the hard work behind it. On the flip side, there's guys who are, he's okay, but he's become a beast because he's worked so hard. It's like being the first to show up and the last to leave. And that's what I was. I'm always that guy. I'm like the first to show up, skipping, no one's around, and then everyone's leaving, and I'm still hitting a heavy bag, or asking for extra help or whatever. That's just the way I was. I was like that in volleyball too. I was always the first to come to practice and do whatever my warm-ups were, and I was always the last to leave. That was just my mindset, right? That's the person you want to be. You know what I mean? When everyone's gone home, you gotta still be there. And when this comes into place, the last to get off the treadmill with this program, it's those workouts that are tough, where no one's around. No one is around you. No one can see you. You don't have to do round 3 if you don't want to, right? You don't have to do that. You're tired. You're like, man, I'm tired. Do I really want to do round 3? Nah, You know what? No one will know. I can just say I did round 3. Nah, man. The last to get off the treadmill is you're now going to be doing the hard work when no one sees you. No one sees the hard work you're putting in. You know the hard work you're putting in, and it all shows in your results, right? Like if you put in that hard work, if you do round 3, you know, one last round when no one's watching, you know, no one's around. You know, there's times where I'm up here on my little balcony here, no one can see me, and I'm trudging through these crazy works. I'm like, God damn, I gotta do this. I gotta finish this round. Like I have to. I hate it. I don't want to do it. I'm tired. You know, I'm exhausted, but I'll just do it. I'll just try to do it. Right. Next thing you know, you're done. Right. I'll just, you know, I don't have to do listen, sometimes I say to myself, okay, it's a 55-second round, because at some point as you move forward, you're going to be getting workouts with 55-second rounds anyways. It's like 55 seconds. I got to do these 10 exercises for 55 seconds. Man, I just barely got through the last round when I was doing for 45 seconds. But I say to myself, you know what? I'm just going to let go. And if I can go unbroken, I'll go unbroken. If I have to rest a couple times, I'll rest a couple times. But at least I did it. At least I attempted it. At least I was the last to get off the treadmill. At least I was a person who, again, it's all the hard work that no one sees, right? No one sees all of the rounds you put in. No one sees the food that you eat. You got to be that guy. You got to be that person who thrives when no one's looking. That's, you know, thrives when no one's watching. You know, I'm up here all week. My wife works nights, is on nights right now. So she comes home and she's, you know, she sleeps most of the day. And all of this past week, I've been up literally all day, all night, pretty much. And but she doesn't see that. You know, she only sees, like, you know, when she wakes up, I come downstairs, I say hey, and then I go back up. So for her, she doesn't even know about me working all the way. I just told her yesterday. I just told her about what I was doing yesterday. She's like, oh shit, okay, no wonder your eyes are all red all week. I thought you were fucking doing something. But anyways, but the point is, it's the hard work that you know you're putting in, that you know you need to do. You know you need to do that last round, even though you don't want to do. You know you need to do the yoga recovery, even though you know you don't want to do it, even though it's not sexy, even though no one's watching. You have to do it. You have to stay consistent. You have to get the mindset of being the last to get off the treadmill, because your health depends on it, specifically during these times. So what are some of the hacks for success? Number 1, have a singular goal. And when you have that goal, keep your blinders on. Focus on that goal. Don't let anybody or anything else steer you away from whatever that goal may be. Practice the same kick 1,000 times. If you want to be a podcast, if you want to start a new business, if you want to do something different, you know, or what have you, or take on something, try to be a master of it. Really try to master it. Learn everything about it. Grease the groove. Do it over and over. Get it ingrained so it's second nature. For me and you guys, the mastery that I want you to have is nutrition. That's the mastery I want you to have. That's it. If I'm happy when you guys know that it's just starchy, carbs, fats, proteins, vegetables. I see it all the time, but it will make more sense to you. I keep saying this, and I'm going to keep saying it again. When you travel, or when you're in a situation where you have no control over the food, you're not preparing your own food, that's when it's going to come. That's when you're going to realize, oh, I can eat healthy anywhere on the planet. Pretty much anywhere on the planet that has a carb, fat, protein, and vegetable available, you can eat it, because you know the type of foods, because you pretty much, after a while, you pretty much know all the carbs, the safe carbs. Proteins are proteins, you know, the fruits and vegetables and fats. So you would know that if you went to to some restaurant, you could order healthy. You know that if you went to someone's Thanksgiving party, they have plates, they have all kinds of food. You can pick and choose the food that you want to eat if you want to stay healthy. But that only happens from the thousands of times you've created your own meal every single day. So while you may think it's monotonous, what it's doing is it's creating, you're becoming a master at nutrition. Number 3, use fear setting, right? If you honestly are afraid of something, we all are. Believe me, every time I try to think about something new, like this whole pain-free thing, there's a little fear in me. I'm like, you know, I have no mobility. I'm not flexible at all. How am I going to teach you guys to be flexible? I'm not flexible, but I'm like, you know what? Who cares? Just learn how to do it. and then you're going to create something. Luckily, Angela's coming and she's doing it as well. But the point is, the fear starts to happen. Like, okay, well, I can't, I start thinking about all of the things that I can't do. Like, I'm not flexible. I can't do this. How can I do this? Whatever. But then I realized, well, by writing down using fear setting, that again, it's how likely is it to happen that I won't be able to, go through these routines with you? How could it be prevented if I can't, and what's the worst case scenario? We all have fears, but when you write those three things down and you list those three things out, you will be prepared for anything. You're like, okay, it's not as bad as I think. And even if it does, the worst case scenario happens, I have a plan in place. So I'm good. But don't let that fear overtake you. At least write down the three things, at least write it out, and then you can make a decision. Okay, here's all the things. Maybe I am right to be afraid, or you know what, I'm just blowing this out of proportion. That's a key one, because a lot of us as we get older are afraid to do things. Well, actually, there's two ways. There's some people who, as you get older, you're not afraid to do anything. Like, God, I've done so much, I've gone through so much, I ain't afraid of this stuff. Let's try this new things. And there's other people like, I've done that before and it failed. I don't know if I can do it. No, man, we have to attack everything that's in here, that keeps, I got to keep doing this. I got to try this. Time is now, man. The time is now. You gotta get it done. Don't be afraid. Make it awesome. So again, anything that you're trying to achieve, when you try to, chase big, lofty goals or big ambition, when you try to make things awesome, you'll go for broke. You'll go for broke, man. You'll go for it. And you'll put the time in, specifically if you're trying to make it like awesome. And it's not going to be perfect, right? Like, again, when I started this program, for me, it was a lofty idea, because there's no other membership site on the planet, fitness membership site on the planet that's like this. There's no other one where you'll join, and every month you get new programs for 24 months. Every week you get on a coaching call. Yes, there's support groups, but there's no program on the planet like this. And when I tell all my other fitness people about it, they're just like, nah, I'll just do the other way, where they just can come in and they can choose programs, and I don't have time to do the coaching. And it was a lofty goal and a lofty effort to put this together. Like, it's a big chore, not a chore. It's a big project, but I just had so much belief in it. And, now it wasn't perfect at first. For those of you who were here at the very beginning, it's still not perfect. And there's always changes and there's always things that I need to do, but I'm good with it. Right. Like you just, in order to get to that lot, in order to reach it, it's going to be like this. It's going to be all over the place, but you just got to keep going. It still is, but I keep working on it. Number 5, let it come. Sometimes when you're in the shower and you think about something, oh, wow, the light bulb comes up, or you're just sitting there daydreaming, and all of a sudden, oh shit, I just got a thought, like those times when those things happen, the default mode's working, your imagination's working, your creativity is working. Go with it, man. Go with it. Don't just leave it there. Don't let it fizzle out. Go with it. There's something there for you. And don't be afraid to promote yourself, or at least don't be afraid to promote in something that you believe in and that you're passionate about and that services others. That's how I'm a big believer. And if you're doing something that helps others, don't be afraid to promote yourself, or don't be afraid to promote it. Right? That's me. Some people, I'm not, I big up guys who can promote themselves. That's just not me, but I do promote the success that you guys have a lot. Number 7, it ain't about how hard you get hit. Sylvester Stallone, man, it doesn't matter. You're going to get hit. It's if you can get up and keep moving forward. That's me, man. The guys I see, I'm in recovery for many, many years. And, as I've been clean for a long time, but I see the people coming in over and over and over again. And I have the most respect for those people, man. I have the most respect for the guys and women and men who keep coming back after day in and day out and day in and day out, because that's just the no quit in their mind, right? At some point it'll stick. At some point, so when I was early on, when like I said, when I was 39, moving forward to 40, I fell into a deep deep nosedive, right? Because I didn't know what was happening with my body. I didn't know that my testosterone levels were low. I did, my libido was low. I was drinking to mask everything, and I was out of shape, and I was doing drugs, and I was doing like partying like crazy. All of the things, because I didn't realize what was happening with my body. Not blaming my body, but the testosterone had a lot to do with it. Once I realized that that's what it was, I started to change my entire lifestyle, started to change my mindset, started to get into the recovery. My whole life changed, like literally six months. That was it. Like, I was just so focused. It's funny, like the one thing about the 10,000 things, I remember doing the same workout program, like a kettlebell workout, a bodyweight workout. Then I did sprints, then I did a dumbbell workout, and I did something else for 3 months straight. Every week I did the same workout. I look back now, I'm like, that's crazy. But that was what changed me from 215 puffy to 180. It was like 3 months of doing the same thing, because I was just so focused on like changing my body, getting my testosterone levels up. I ate the same way. Like I just kept everything small. But I just became a master at doing that. Anyways, I just thought about that. Yeah, man, you're gonna get hard. You're gonna get hit hard many times. Just get back up and keep going. Keep coming back. Even if you've been gone for a month or two, or something happened, you get injured, just keep showing up, man. Keep showing up. Non-reactivity, number 8, Navy SEALs. Again, there's a lot of craziness going on in the world right now. Specifically, I'm in Canada, and it's not that bad here. In the US, you guys are, I don't know what's going on there, man. It's crazy there. It's mayhem going on there. But there's a lot of things you guys can't control. There's a lot of things you can control, and a lot of things that people are saying, and there's a lot of division happening. But you have to ensure that your energy is within your kingdom, within your community, within your family. That's where your energy needs to be. All of us, our energy needs to be there. We can't get pulled out here talking about this and trying to change this, and you gotta here tight do if you work for someone, focus on what you need to do at work, at home, and with your health. That's key. You got to have that Navy SEAL mindset. Number 9, you only need to be successful once, which means you just keep having that determination and hard work. And number 10, be the last to get off the treadmill, right? And for us, it's those days where no one's looking, you're at your house, there's the round number 3, you don't want to do it, but okay, what, I'm just gonna go through it. Listen, if I only get 4 or 5, if I have to rest 4 or 5 times during the round, who cares? At least I did it. At least I attempted it and I did it. And that's the bottom line. So yeah, man, you guys are awesome. Hopefully you guys will you can use any of these. A lot of you guys, I'm sure, have been using a lot of these, but my point is just stay consistent, stay focused, keep supporting each other, but most of all, your own health and your family. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.